Great to see everybody. Some new faces and some new names and some familiar names. Um, anyway, so we like to do these once a month. We're renaming this from the Ask Me Anything because that's a different thing than what we do. This is more of an all hands for our approved talent group on Braintrust. And so what we'll do today is we will do quick intros for the three of us. I'd like to start off kind of repeating our vision for Braintrust and our mission, what we're doing this for, mostly for the benefit of new folks on the call. Then we'll give a quick update around how the COVID pandemic has been impacting our network. Then we'll jump into talking about new clients, new jobs. I'll pass to Mark for a product update. Then we'll pass to Shirley for a community update. And then I'll kind of highlight our milestones and where we're going, what our goals are. And then we'll do Q&A. And so there's a Q&A box. Is that still here? Did they remove? Oh, yeah, that's still there. So feel free, as we're talking, anytime, just drop a question into the Q&A box, and then I'll get to all of them at the end. That works fairly well. All right, so just quick intros here. My name's Adam. I'm the founder and CEO of the Braintrust project. I'm based here in Northern California. Yeah, how about over to Shirley?
Hi everyone, I'm Shirley Yang. I am head of community here with Braintrust, and I am calling in today from Chicago.
And I'm Mark Williams, our head of operations, and I live in Seattle. I like how our intros are getting shorter and shorter as we go through these.
Well, it's like, if people want to know our extended backgrounds, they can go to YouTube and watch one of the old. Our goal is to make these shorter and shorter every month, but with better and better news every month, which is something that I'm very happy about. So quick recap on for our new folks on why we're building Braintrust and what Braintrust is and how it's different. So we are building the world's first user-owned and user-controlled talent platform. And the reason is our belief is that networks of people or platforms that are owned and controlled by their users, the people who actually use and make a living on their platform, will grow faster and be more valuable than a traditional investor-controlled network. This model, what we call a token economy model, can be used in any two-sided marketplace. We just chose to start with tech because that's what we know. And so we're building this network because we believe all of you, the talent, should be able to work on cool projects, earn 100% of your rate, not pay us any fees, have the flexibility to work from anywhere, and have a say, a vote, a voice in how the network grows. And so in our pitch to clients is really simple. So Braintrust is not about getting a bunch of cheap people offshore. This is not the traditional talent arbitrage, geographic arbitrage game that a lot of folks play. This is about finding really highly skilled and experienced talent that you can't simply hire in-house. And so Braintrust has individuals, teams, and even small agencies on board. And clients use it to augment their existing staff or for fully managed projects. We're doing plenty of both right now. What's the business model? Well, we run a flat 10% margin. That's 10% fee we charge clients, and that's basically just to cover our costs. And our goal here is to create this global network that benefits all of us that make a living developing software or being a product manager or something like that for a living. We are not here to maximize fees. We're not here to extract as much value out of the people on our network as most other talent networks are. Our job is actually the opposite. Our job is to build really great software that connects awesome talent with really great clients that need them, and create a nice place to transact, a nice place to build reputation, build your business, and sort of get out of the way and take as little fee as possible. To fulfill that vision, we have a core team. There's only about 9 of us, and that core team, so Shirley and Mark are on the core team, and there's others that you guys may have met. But our job is to build the initial network, recruit great people, and then bring great talent which we've already done. And then from there, the talent refer more talent, which many of you have already done. And then our job at the core team is to bring great clients onto the platform. So more on that later. And so Braintrust, there are no technical people on the Braintrust core team. Well, I'm kind of technical, and Shirley is an engineer as well, but and Mark's pretty technical too, but none of us are actually committing code. All of the designs, UX, UI, code being committed and features being built are 100% done by freelance talent on Braintrust. So we have folks in Poland, in California, New Zealand, and Texas, and South Africa, and Seattle, and Portugal, and Netherlands, and you name it. We have people all over the world contributing to Braintrust right now to build out the platform. And then the sort of the glue that sticks all this together is what we call the incentive mechanism, is what we call the Braintrust token. And this is a token built on the Ethereum blockchain. We actually have a bunch of cool updates about this today. But this token is what separates us from like a normal dev shop or a normal talent network. It's an incentive mechanism used to reward users for building the network. And so when I say build the network, I mean actually building it, like coding it and designing it, but more importantly, referring new talent, vetting new talent, referring new clients, and eventually many other uses in the ecosystem. So our plan is to give the majority of these tokens away to talent and anyone who brings in clients. We already have now hundreds and hundreds, approaching thousands of token holders that have referred talent, help vet talent, and refer clients. And so in the future, this is a really new model of ownership and control of this token. So in the future, we'll do a kind of a deep dive on this token when we're closer to publicly launching it. But that's sort of our 60-second version of what we do. Wanted to give a quick update on how the COVID pandemic has been affecting the network. So, first of all, I hope everybody on this call is staying safe and managing to stay sane while under lockdown. It's been a really tough time. Obviously, a lot of people have lost their jobs. Global demand is slowing. GDP is getting crushed. A really tough time economically. And so, we were no exception when this pandemic hit in March. We took a fair hit. We saw a lot of our clients kind of pause jobs, and it stayed, a little bit quiet for a little bit, and then we really saw it start to come back in May. And so we've loaded the pipeline back up, got a bunch of new customers coming on board, and so it's recovering nicely here. We'll see the recovery actually hit in June. And so that's great for all of us and all the talent. More importantly, though, this part's been fascinating to watch. This narrative around work has really changed. It used to be, and I know a lot of you guys on the talent side can relate to this. It used to be, we don't want people working outside of our office because we don't think it works. Then it graduated to, we'll get people out of the office, but only if we don't have to pay them good rates, and then you got this like market rate arbitrage going on. And now it's like, oh, wow, everyone who works for Facebook, Dropbox, all these other tech Twitter, Coinbase, all these other big companies who have amazing people on them, they've been forced to work from home, and now they're basically work from home forever or work remote forever. And so that's been fascinating to watch, right? So the other big companies like banks and insurance companies and clothing brands and consumer packaged goods and healthcare companies, all these other companies that need the same talent that Facebook and Google and Apple have, are now watching these tech giants say, yeah, we don't need them in our offices, right? It's actually like not a big deal. You can develop software from anywhere. And that's an inflection point, right? That was the most meaningful thing I've seen come out of this on the upside is now that, I'll give you a great example. We just brought on Porsche, the car manufacturer, and they just posted their first job last week. And, the way the tide changed around remote work really changed their point of view on how and where innovation can happen. So that's something all of us knew all along, right? But that concept just went mainstream the last month. And so that's really exciting. That's a really good sign for us. It's a it'll be a tailwind now for everybody on this call and everybody on Braintrust. So really happy about that. Quick network update. So we're up to around 475 on the approved talent side. We're being extremely selective about who we bring in. Really, we're trying to bring in people where there's an immediate client need for that skill set. And so the wait list continues to grow and grow. We've got a couple thousand now on the wait list. Really strong people there, but we want to be, we don't like bringing people on that there's not, a potential near-term need for. So that's been great. Our sales team has kind of kicked back into gear here. We have 2 full-time folks plus myself and Gabe that really work on that. We've got Nestle, Deloitte, TaskRabbit, Blue Cross Blue Shield, all active clients. And then we've got 15 net new clients going through the onboarding process right now. In all big companies with, potentially limitless jobs to post. They include Porsche, Samsung, a very large US bank, a very large US shoe company, and many more. And so the way this works, these big clients, they'll start off with a couple jobs. When we at Braintrust and you guys at Talent do a good job, they'll add more. We actually have 5 clients right now that want to add 200 plus jobs in the near term. And so that's each client. And so it's really critical in these early days that these clients have a great experience. And that's, Mark and his team's job is to really make sure things go well and the talent is well vetted. And so we're watching this thing like a hawk. This is not like an open marketplace yet. It's still very much a closed and controlled marketplace. And so what I will say is, if you're not up to providing a service, or if you're not confident that you have the right skills and experience, just don't bid. Right? It's just better to be confident about that. Wait for the right opportunity for you. And if there's a question on anything, just ping me or ping Mark. We're really easy, accessible. And so, really, really positive. A couple months ago, things were looking a little tough, and now it's really like coming out a lot better for this model. And I know all of you guys on the call are huge fans of remote work, and it's almost religion for us. And this is the way the world's turning now. With that, let me pass it over to Mr. Williams to give us an update on all of the exciting stuff coming through the product and the platform.
All right, thanks everyone. Thank you for joining us again this month. This product stuff every month is exciting to see. We're on 1-week sprints, and every sprint is just packed of probably 50 items that we know about and care about, and a bunch of other stuff that we may not care as much about. So we keep these pretty high level of what you can see and is hopefully most meaningful to you. Every sprint we try to balance the new product work with any bug fixes we have found over the last week. Some of you have helped with that, with an image scaling problem and project titles showing up on the talent profile. So thank you very much for reporting those. You can always hit me up in Slack if you find anything or have an improvement that you would like to make. And we're also always doing security improvements as well, particularly around all this token work that we're doing. So a lot of work over these last couple of months have been getting the token up and running, and some of you have helped test that on the Robsta network. So thank you very much. I just went through it again last week, and it is quite slick. So once you everyone has some tokens, but just by virtue of being here. But once you have those, and once we eventually get these live on the open marketplace, the process for transacting these, withdrawing is very slick, as slick as can be. So thank you very much to those of you who have helped test there, and we'll have more opportunities in the future to test with that as we get a little closer. As usual, for those of you who have been around, we've been talking about the talent profiles for a long time. For the new people, you've just been through the process of setting up a profile and probably having myself or my counterpart, Megan, our operations manager, hassle you to try to get those to a complete state before approving, so we can open you up to apply to the jobs on our platform. I thank you for that. I know it's a little bit of work. It's not too much work, but it's extremely important to us, because all of the research we did leading up to that profile redesign showed that the clients really needed to see the information they wanted to see was right up front and center. So things like your work experience, project cases, or your portfolio, showing the work that you've done in the past, in addition to all of the skills that we use for the matching engine. So it really is important to have all of the information you have shared with other things like LinkedIn or GitHub. If there's any information out there that can help a client make that determination, it's very important to have on the profile for your sake, just so you show up and look heads and shoulders above the rest of the other people they're looking at. And secondarily, it helps us in sales. So your profiles are public facing. They're not behind registration. So that's good for two reasons. You can take them with you if you like. If you don't have an opportunity on Braintrust right now, that you can show off that profile elsewhere. But we also use it to show potential new clients, because that's one of the biggest stumbling blocks to a new company. They say, well, how are you different than anyone else? Why would I work with you instead of one of these other companies? And when we can show them a bulk of terrific looking profiles, they immediately get it and say, oh, this is a lot easier. Thank you very much. So please, if you haven't, or if you have a few seconds, hit that profile page up again, see if there's a section you missed. And in the near future, we'll be showing profile completeness indication on your profile page. So you can play a game with yourself to see if you are at 100% or not. And also up on, this was launched a while ago, but we're still making some improvements to the messaging. So probably the biggest thing we hear from clients, other than the profiles, is how much they appreciate being able to communicate directly with you once you've applied to their project. So that messaging, for those of you who have gone for one or multiple roles at the same time, it's cleaned up on your side. So your dashboard, you can easily find the message and talk to the right person at that company who has posted the job, or you've already been in contact with. So that messaging is getting a lot smoother. Coming up next, we have a cover letter improvement. So you'll see on a lot of jobs, they require a cover letter. They want a little bit more information on why you are a perfect fit for their job than just your profile. And you can provide some information on why you think you would be a great fit for that particular job. Right now, it's just a big text box. We kind of let you go any way you want. And we've had a couple requests from clients to make that a little bit more specific. So we're going to give them the opportunity to put 2 or 3 application questions up, and then you can fill those out directly. So you're not wasting time crafting a giant cover letter that it doesn't really meet the needs of the client, or it's not what they're looking for. So hopefully it'll save you time, and it will save them time in reviewing everybody, so we can get you hired faster. That is the bulk of the kind of public-facing product updates. Is there anything I missed, Adam, that you know was on your radar?
No, those are great. Wanted to reiterate big thanks for everybody who helped us test the token. We've had about 20 people go through that process now, and found mostly UX upgrades, which is good. And so we'll be sitting on that. We're gonna we won't be able to withdraw tokens until the network launches publicly, which will happen later this year most likely. But very exciting piece of the puzzle here. So thanks to everyone who helped there. Now let me kick it over to Shirley.
Hi, everyone. So nice to see you. Providing jobs aside, being part of the Braintrust community is hopefully valuable to you in that we provide some support and resources as freelancers and business owners. And how we do that is through the newsletters that you get from me. So we make sure to provide you a network update. So things that we're talking about today, it'll be in text newsletter format. new clients that we sign on, people who have completed projects, exciting things that are coming up. That's through our newsletters. So make sure that you're subscribed to them. And also through our website, there's a freelancers resources hub. Brandon Garson from our marketing team had stood that up for you. So our previous and upcoming workshops, those are the virtual events that we do with industry experts and speakers on various topics for helping you further your freelance career, as well as blog articles on various topics that you can find on our website. And what I like to focus on this week is, if you are not already in our Slack channel, please join. I'll drop it in the chat later for you to make sure that you sign up. We created a channel for you to earn tokens directly in Slack. And as Adam talked about, one of the main things that really set us different and provide the ability for us to be that decentralized network is through our tokens called Braintrust. And, you can do things like vote on product features, going forward, vote on how the network is governed, put stakes on projects, etc. So lots of things that we can do with Braintrust, and we want to get people to start earning them once you join our network. So I'll be dropping in opportunities in our Slack, so make sure you're there. And then upcoming, something really exciting that we're still, in the beginning phases, but it's going to be working really fast, is something called the Academy. And, I think this first version will be focused on soft skills. I know a lot of you have answered the surveys for us, and thank you very much for telling me how you feel about it. We're starting with soft skills because I think it covers the majority and more people, including the Muses community that I'm bringing over. And I think it's, the idea is, no matter if you are looking to expand your skills, so someone who's been freelancing for a long time, or someone who is just getting started, the Academy will provide content that's valuable. For example, best practices on pitching, templates that work from seasoned freelancers, building flywheels for your business. How is that different from a sales funnel? So a lot of these real world, I want to say practical examples that will be included in the Academy. So that's rolling out hopefully in the next couple of weeks. I know it's summertime, so lots of work to be done there, and I'm going to be reaching out to you for ideas, or even from your experiences, what we can incorporate in the Academy so it's truly built by freelancers. Lastly, I want to remind everyone that there is a 2% client referral that we're doing. So a lot of the projects that we're bringing on board is through personal networks. I think that's just how it's working nowadays, especially with COVID. Looking at who do we know from the past who can potentially utilize our help, especially with people thinking of hiring remote workers more and more. It would mean a lot if you can look at, your personal network. If there's any potential, we're happy to have conversations with people. And just to give you an idea, an average project on Braintrust, last I heard, was $50,000, 2% referral, that's $1,000 to you. So paid in tokens. And so, if you can think of anyone, even if it's just an email intro, we'll take it. Thank you. That's it for me.
Awesome. Thanks, Shirley and Mark. Great updates. Lots of stuff happens here in a month. It's really encouraging to see. I wanted to wrap up before we hit Q&A. I want to wrap up with sort of an update on our milestones for this network. So to kind of zoom out a little bit, we've been working on this for 18 months or so, and have been very much we're in private beta. It's invite only. The talent on the talent side, obviously we vet folks and let them in selectively. On the client side, you have to be invited to become a client. You can't, anyone can come to the website, submit the form, but not anyone can just come in and post a job. We're not quite ready for that step yet. But so we continue to sort of build and refine the platform and build this great talent base and keep adding clients sort of very deliberately through this private beta period. the phase we're about to enter into here too, or we're already maybe a month or two in, is where we start telling our story more publicly. So the story is really around why is this different? There's lots of talent marketplaces out there. Why is Braintrust different? And it's different because we take barely any fee. We take no fees from talent, very low fees from the clients. So client money goes much further. Talents get to keep 100% of what they own, and the talent controls and owns the network, right? So our incentives never become misaligned like they would on an Upwork or another talent network. And so it's a story where it's better for both sides, and where token holder, it's an actual use for a token, and token holders can actually control the network. So we're starting to tell that story publicly. We've actually made a ton of traction on LinkedIn in particular, where we're now getting hundreds of thousands of impressions a week from our little tidbits, and we post sort of advice and anecdotes, and we'll talk about kind of how our story fits in with the normal news cycle. We've asked many of you to post about your experience on Braintrust after you get your first payment from a client. We've had dozens and dozens of people do that now. Thank you to everyone who's done that. It actually helps a lot. What it does is it creates this kind of a reverberation effect through LinkedIn. And LinkedIn is that's where all our clients are, our potential clients. So the more credibility in you can build on a place like LinkedIn, the easier it gets to bring in new clients, which is great for all of us, obviously. So we've already had a few cases where random kind of new people who had a need saw someone in our network post, and then we brought them in as a client to Braintrust. So that really does work. It works better and better every week. We're getting better and better at it. It won't be long, but in the next couple months, we'll be making a bigger push into kind of tier 1 PR, so CNBC and Bloomberg and much larger audience outlets, which then reverberates through LinkedIn. And it's kind of this flywheel, right? The more it spins, the easier it goes, the faster it goes, and the more business it generates for the platform. So thanks to everybody who's helped there. We're making surprisingly good progress on it. All right, let's switch over to Q&A. So we have a question from David. By the way, David, great to see you. Thanks for all your help. Really appreciate all the help, especially with testing the token. And so his question is, can you explain the difference between board of directors and a board of Braintrust holders? Which decisions belong to which table? So this is a really good question. This is sort of a network governance question. So there is no board of directors here. The talent owns the tokens, and the tokens vote on how the network is governed. So right now it's still privately controlled, but once we publicly launch the network, we'll actually have implemented a system where Braintrust token holders can submit new ideas, and then other Braintrust token holders can vote on whether they like those ideas or not, and then the decisions will programmatically flow through the network. And this could be like, which feature should Mark's team build next, or so product roadmap, or it could be even rules around fees, like maybe we should charge 12% instead of 10%, or maybe we should charge 5% instead of 10%. Like major decisions that govern the network, those will all be in the hands of the token holders. And so the more tokens you have, the more control you have over the network. And so today we completely controlled, and the goal is to have it completely user controlled by the end of by the time we publicly launch. So really good question. Any other questions here before we sign out for the morning? I really appreciate having you guys. Oh, here we go. Shirley had one. Thanks, Shirley. Do you look at the talent wait list when there's a new client that needs specific skill set not available inside the network? Is it worth inviting somebody even if they're not a good match for any job at the moment? Thank you. Really good question. We do look at the wait list. So this is now Megan's job on Mark's team. She looks at the wait list anytime there's a new need. We prefer to have people like first we'd rather have someone who's already approved to do the work, because they're already vetted, we know you already. And then if the existing network doesn't have the skill set, we'll look to the wait list. Then we'll ask you to refer. We sort of do those last two things in parallel. That's where Slack comes in. So check Slack for the referral rewards. You also get an email. And then is it worth inviting somebody even if they're not a good match for any job at the moment? Absolutely, because the reason why is the system tracks that invite. So let's say you invite, a UX designer, and she may not get approved for maybe a month or two, but once she does, the system has her tracked to your invite code. And so once she starts transacting, you're going to earn a percentage of her transactions as a bonus to you paid in our token. And so it's better to make the invitation earlier than later, just so you don't forget about it. And so you can start sort of building that like stream of residual token bonuses down the road. Good question. All right, guys. Well, hey, it was great to see all the new people here. Great to see some of our old friends. Really appreciate you guys coming in this morning. We will, and we'll post this to YouTube for anyone who missed it. Thanks all. Have a good day. Have a good week.
Everyone. Have a good one.
Bye.